Florida is moving ahead with legislation that would legalize warning shots. Basically, you would be able to brandish your gun, fire a shot in the air, and not go to jail because of it. You might be familiar with their policy of jailing people who use warning shots because of Marissa Alexander. Now, not too long ago, she was sentenced to 20 years in prison because she fired a warning shot when she was about to be attacked. That conviction has been thrown out, and she is scheduled to have another trial. We don't know what's going to happen with that. But legislators in Florida are moving ahead with this bill. Now, the reason that they feel that this is necessary is because currently Florida has what's called a 10-20 life law. And basically, anyone who shows a gun while committing certain felonies will be sentenced to 10 years in prison. If someone is shot and wounded, the sentence increases to 25 years and possibly even to life. Now, the NRA is kind of in a weird position because they want people to be able to run around with their guns if they want to intimidate people, but they also don't want minorities with guns to get away with crimes. And so they're trying to tread a very careful line of wanting to legalize warning shots in certain cases, but keep this law so that they can lock up people they don't like. Now, as it stands right now, like I said, you can go to jail for quite a long time. Hopefully for Marissa Alexander, it will eventually be completely dissolved in her case because it seems clear that what she was doing is what we would want someone to do, to not use deadly force against someone even if they're threatened, if they can get out of it without using that deadly force. But we'll have to see. Now, of course, there are pros and cons. As I said, in the case of Marissa Alexander, this is something that you probably want, but there are significant cons as well, and that's part of the debate that's going on right now in Florida. Many people who are opposed to this think that it's extremely likely that if this is legalized, if you won't go to jail for firing warning shots, it'll be more likely that people will do it, obviously. And if they're taking out their gun to fire warning shots, if they're simply brandishing it to scare people, it's possible that more events will escalate to actual violence. And I have to say that I'm a little bit torn on this. I do think that it's possible that it could lead to more violence. And I think that while in the best case, in an ideal case, we would simply make it so that there were actual reasonable gun control legislation in Florida as elsewhere. But in the current system that we have, I do think that this being added could be a good thing. I think that it could possibly lead to less violence, and certainly in cases of, like Marissa Alexander, we'd get something that more resembles justice. But at the same time, while I think that something like this could be a good idea, I think that it should be, as part of the legislation being passed, money should be allocated and people should be allocated to keep track of it, to watch it over the next year, 5 years, 10 years. Does this actually lead in a way that can be demonstrated to more acts of violence, to more shootings? And if that's the case, then they need to get rid of it.